I quit my job. I didn't realize what I was doing until months into the process of actually quitting. And because of the nature of my job, nobody was actually holding my hand and being questioning or wondering, hey, where are you? It was kind of one of those slow quitting processes that didn't seem that way to me until probably midway through 2024, and definitely by the end of 2024 I saw like, oh snap, like I have missed the boat on something that is so deep to me, that is a calling to me, and it's so hard to accept that I would quit what feels like a life calling, right? What do I mean here? I'm a writer. I am an author. My book is called Innards. It came out in 2023. And the hardest thing that happened to me as a writer all of 2024 is I did not write. I'm making this video, and I know some people who care about my writing life, particularly my agent and my editor, but spoiler alert, my editor has already heard this. We had a candid conversation, and it's not what either of them want to hear. Anybody who supports me professionally, that I essentially quit my job all of 2024. I didn't mean to, I'm not sure I even wanted to, but slowly it happened. And the reason why it happened is very much because of the things that drove me out of moving out of America, right? Taking a break from the US. If you're interested in that story, I have made an entire video that talks about that. But staying on topic here for this particular conversation, I quit not because I wanted to, but because of the pressures on me at the time. Childcare, being a mom, and definitely my mental health taking a toll because of all of those things. What I want to focus on in 2025 and why I'm making this video in the first place is not to tell you, like, to give you a walkthrough of like, this is how I quit my job and here's my lack of plan for moving forward, but it's to be in the adventure together and to wonder out loud, what can 2025 look like for both of us? If you're somebody who takes writing really seriously, if you are maybe an aspiring author, I'm actually a published author, I know what it takes to become an author and to be published, and I definitely want to use the smarts, the tools, the game that I have learned over the past 7 years of being a professional writer. I want to use those to lift you up, especially if you're Black, especially if you're brown, especially if you're queer, if you're any of those kinds of folks. I want to lift you up because we need more of your stories out there being told, because I don't know if you know this, but the statistics are really scary of how many of us actually get published. And even when we're published, how many of us get read? How many of us get celebrated? How many of us get the fat advance? Like, I'm not making this stuff up. If you're curious about it, Google something like what publishing paid me, and you will understand what I mean when I talk about like the white supremacy that is behind the publishing industry, right? Like, we're not just talking about something that's theoretical, we're talking about something that's documented and something that the publishing industry itself is on the record as being like, hey, we, Houston, we got a problem and we need to do something about this situation. I'm not here for that conversation. I think there's a lot of positive things that the publishing world has begun doing to address the situation. What I do want to invest our time and our resources on is how can we get serious about our work as writers, and what is it going to take for me to get back into this job that is the most meaningful part of my professional career, that feels like my soul calling. Like for me, writing is breathing. And the fact that I stopped breathing for an entire year, like, honey, I'm not cool with that. I need to do something about that. Moving here to Mexico is definitely part of my game plan of how I want to get back on top. But I want to talk with you about some of the things that we can do together in 2025 to make sure by the end of the year, we're not talking about like, oh my God, I stopped breathing for an entire year. And the thing that my soul feels most alive and most like it's breathing delicious air when it's doing it.
Hey, welcome to Love on Stage. I'm Magogodi. If you're ready to make sales and spark action when you speak, this is your place. I've helped dozens of leaders choose courage over comfort by speaking with confidence and love, especially in tough conversations. Because listen, public speaking isn't just a thing that you do on stage. It's what you do every time you deliver a work presentation, when you interview for that plump job you deserve, when you negotiate your salary, and every time you sweat bullets during a big pitch. That's all public speaking. It's time to level up your storytelling because your story matters. So, you ready to speak like a boss? Let's get into your most powerful story.
It really matters when I write. Getting up early and being intentional about a morning practice, usually starting at the writing table around 5 a.m., but sometimes a little bit earlier than that. Find for yourself what is your true north for your timetable. When do you feel most productive? When's your brain the most alive and alert? And when are you able to focus without many different things competing for your energy? Can you block that time off in your calendar? For me, early mornings are sacred. They're amazing because everybody else is kind of not checked in yet, right, into the day. And when I focus just on writing, magic happens for the rest of the day. Number two, something else that I found that is really powerful is activating your accountability circle. So this year, I want to be really good about being accountable, both to my private accountability circle, the folks who are my first readers, who check in on me and make sure that I'm being consistent, and I do the same for them. And I have an intention and I have a kind of curiosity about what would it be like to cultivate that with you. So if that's something that resonates with you, drop me a line and comment and let me know what kind of accountability might feel like something that you would want as community, right? Like as digital community, to be able to hold each other accountable. I will say this about accountability around writing. It is so critical, not only to find people that you trust that you can share your writing with, but let me tell you something, writing is one of those jobs that is bizarre because you can quit for 6 months and nobody, not even your agent, not even your editor, understands that you have quit. Like I said at the top of this video, I quit last year and I realized halfway through, oh shit, I haven't really written anything substantive in about 6 months. And nobody checked in on me. It's that kind of vocation. And when you have that type of vocation, it doesn't even have to be writing. If you're an artist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody, unless you're Beyonce, nobody is knocking, or Rihanna or somebody else that we love. I don't know, maybe people are knocking on your door and being like, yo, Jordan Castile, when's the next painting coming through? But if you're not in that category of artists yet, nobody's knocking on your door to see when the product is coming. And that's been the story for me. And it is so important to build that around you, to make yourself feel like and understand that, because guess what? You are robbing us of something. When you don't produce your art, you're not only disappointing the universe, which is disappointing yourself. And I hate to put it in that kind of harsh language, but I'm just here for facts, right? You are disappointing the highest calling of who you are, who you're supposed to be here on this earth. When you don't live up to your full purpose, you're robbing us of that. And you are robbing the whole world, because we deserve, the world is going to be so much richer and better for the thing that only you can make. So I need you not only to make your art, but to make it with that level of serious. If I don't do this, if I don't build accountability around myself and deadlines and people who are like, yo, where is it? We're on the deadline. Where's that report? I mean, it's not a report. Where's the art? But you get what I'm saying. Create that feeling that you have for your 9 to 5, because somebody is always sweating you, being like, where is that report? And this is where the freedom comes in. Listen, we're not here for perfect, okay? To make art, you gotta fuck up a lot. Give yourself permission towards all those moments where you're going to get it wrong this year, where you're not going to produce the kind of sentence or pages that you are capable of on that particular day. The point of making art is to be in a practice. The point of writing and taking that seriously as a job is to have a writing practice, is to be in practice. It is not to be perfect every single time you sit down. I just recently was on MacArthur Foundation's, the Genius grant that they give out. Yep, that one. Well, I had just read Kiesi Lemon's Heavy, and I was watching his video because I'm that kind of writer, right? It's like I take my writing very, very seriously, and I'm not here to play games. So when I find somebody whose work really moves me, I will study that person. I will study every sentence that they've ever written, and I want to know all of the things about them. So one of the things about him is he is a MacArthur Genius Award winner. You need to see this video because one of the things that he says that is just such a provocative idea for life, but definitely for writing, is the power of revision and how much power there is in revisiting where we have been. And he makes the relationship between that work of revision at a writer level and at a country level. That he became interested in revision when he realized both in interpersonal relationships, but also very much the United States has a hard time revisiting its past, but always wants to talk about opportunities, always wants to talk about like the rainbows and the clouds and the amazing things we're going to do. How can you do those things if you're not willing to go back to the pages that you've already written and revise them? Please, somebody can you explain to me how is that possible? Tell the people. Oh, that's right, you can't. You can't do that. You can't. You have to revise. And as a writer, we are trained to understand the power of revision. This matters if you're serious about your practice, because it's a practice. Because you're not supposed to get it perfect every single time. Actually, you never will. You've never been perfect a day in your life. So right now, let's just accept that. So let's make peace with that and let's create art, okay? I'm done. Like, those are the 3 things that I have for you for how I'm getting back into my writing practice this year. And if you want to join me on that journey, drop a line, like I said, and let me know what are the things that you would love to be in community around. But again, for your sake and my sake, here's a repeat of what is going to help me particularly, but I'm hoping it's helpful for you as well to get back in the saddle into this job and to actually realize your big writing goals for 2025. Number 1, pick a time. Just pick a time when you know you can consistently show up, block that time off. Number 2, get accountability. Get some people who will knock on your door and ask you about what you said you're going to produce and actually have deadlines for you. And number 3, get rid of perfect. Be married to revision and be really serious and consistent about the work that you're here to do. That's about every single day. I'm gonna move this thing further towards where I'm going for this year, towards art. And art takes patience. Art takes failing and being okay with that, but understanding it's an iterative process. I'm so excited. I really am. I'm so excited for my writing life. I'm so excited for what will come out of these pages. I'm also quite excited, to be honest, about having quit for a year. Like, I think there's power in that. Yes, it scared me a little bit, but once I understood what was happening and I made peace with it, I recognized, oh, this is really powerful because this is gestation period. This is how babies are made. First, you have the darkness of the womb for 9 months, and probably long before 9 months, because where do these babies come from before 9 months? Where does life come from? And then you have the magic of birth, right? But you can't get to birth, you can't get to finished product, real things that breathe, that are alive, without darkness, without gestation. So I'm very pumped about what's come before, and I'm ready. My sleeves, They are pretty, they are rolled up. I'm wearing glitter. I'm ready for this moment. I hope you are too. Like I said, drop me a line. Let me know how I can support you in being accountable towards your writing goals. And let's not be quitters, not on the things that our souls are called towards. We can take breaks, but we ain't no quitters. All right, thank you so much for being here. Bye.
Was that useful? You want to go even deeper? I'd love to support you. My coaching program can help you make money and spark action whenever you speak with intention. Book time to chat using the link in the description box below. Also, leave a comment if this video offered something you needed to hear today, or if you have a question you want me to unpack in next week's episode. Fresh episodes drop every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Hit subscribe to get a notification so you never miss a beat. Thank you so much for being here. I want you to know that your story matters. And I'm here to help you stand out from the stage to the page.